again. Hello everyone, today is Wednesday, July 10th, 2019. This is Otaku Showboat. I am now recording. Today is more of the Pyanodon's playthrough. Again, I have just finished up the Angels playthrough, so I decided I'm going to spend the rest of today's stream, a little bit over an hour, playing the Pyanodon's playthrough. So I'm just going to load up. It'll relaunch the game. I will get myself sorted here, which includes repositioning the mic a bit. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Alright, so from here on out, the Pyanodon's playthrough will be daily until it is finished. In quotes, finished. We shall see how long it takes me to pull my hair out. I figure if I haven't done so already, that we're probably in it to win it at this point. So, when I last left off yesterday, I had just finished with setting up this Nexelit chain, this initial Nexelit chain. Unfortunately, with Nexelit, the process to get to plates, there are several recipes. However, the molten Nexelit we don't have yet. There are various ways of getting molten Nexelit, so the efficiency goes way up over time, but it ultimately comes down to raw Nexelit. And there's really not that many ways of getting raw Nexelit, because it does not exist as an ore you can directly mine outside of from Nexelit reserves. Nexelit reserves are one of those rocks that you can mine that requires very, very high-tech stuff. So, yeah, that's gonna take some time. Alternatively, you could do a ground borer. I'm considering doing this, actually. Because that would be considerably more Nexelit per second overall. I mean, it would be at a cost of lubricant and coal gas. That's what, 75 per second on that? I'm going to be getting coal gas out of heavy oil next, so that I can free up tar. I actually need more coal gas at the moment, too. These ground borers I can currently make. The only thing is, with the ground borers, I would need to bring in drill heads. But I already make drill heads. And you can place these borers wherever you want. It's basically making whatever resource you want out of nothing. Besides drill heads, lubricant, and coal gas, just wherever, and you don't need any resource node. So I think that besides the tailings to get the raw Nexelit, I will go the route of ground borers, because I think at this phase of the game, this is actually pretty much the most efficient, if only, method of actually getting a sufficient amount of Nexelit. So, ground borers are in coal processing. I'm going to need to pick up some tin, which I have right down here, to make these ground borers, wherever they are, right there. Tin and iron. Now, what did it say the actual production speed on that was? Did it say it was 15 units of raw every 1.5 seconds? Yes, it's 15 units of raw every 1.5 second, which means 10 per second. Okay, I don't need to make that many. I do not need to make that many. 3 would be a red belt throughput. And I do not want to think about that belt balancing. In fact, I don't have to think about belt balancing because I got this set of belt balancers. Oh boy, so I think however, all of these are the red versions. Bilka's belt balancers. Yellow. The complete belt series yellow, part 1. Okay. Copy to clipboard. B. Import. What? 1-to-1! Isn't that ideal? Hi, 1-to-1. 1-to-2? Okay, that's... How clever. I don't know if any of this is actually working. If any of these actually work as advertised, but I'm going to assume as such for now. Okay, borers. How big are these things? I'm going to bet on the Mahusiv. Yeah, Mahusiv is exactly what they are. Suppose I may as well just stick them sort of in line with where I'm otherwise making raw Nexelit, because that is pretty much what they're going to be used for. So we have the options of copper, iron, Nexelit, quartz, or borax. The only one worthwhile here is Nexelit. Oh, goodness gracious, and of course it's gonna use... Why would I... Yeah, do this, please. I'm only gonna do these 2, by the way, because I'm only really gonna do 1 yellow belt out, and even having 2 is going to be a lot more than what I need now. Where is my coal gas? Which one of you is coal gas? Which one of you is coal gas? Line number 2. So, you. And then, which line is lubricant? I don't think I have the lubricant on the bus yet, but my lubricant supply is close. My lubricant is right here. So I'm going to go to here and start yanking up some lubricant. Should I, though? Nah, I'll do this properly. I'll give the lubricant a proper spot on the bus. At least I don't have to worry about how much I produce, because this is the only thing I'm using my heavy oil for really right now outside of zinc. Thing is, do I have a space on my bus for this? That is the next major question. I'm pretty sure I'm using this line for sulfuric. So it is the one right next to sulfuric that is next. I could just bring this right on up. The niobium pipes are incredibly convenient, but the whole thing about them holding 400 units of fluid each is disturbing. I don't like it. I do not like it because that limits the throughput of it. And I have plenty of complaints about the throughput of the fluid system in general about Factorio. You can just watch the Angels playthrough, which has officially ended, and you will see the VOD of at the same time that this video goes up, actually, on YouTube. Or you can watch the VOD. Oh, so these actually also need power. So, on top of everything else, they also need actual power. I don't know why I went down when I will have my inserters up here. Yes, the fluids are the biggest scaling restraint. Especially when doing Bob's mods, when using Bob's modules and beacons. It is the biggest constraint. And basically, anytime you have a building that wants to use more than 1200 units per second of any fluid, you're stuck. Because you really can't do much more than 1200 units per second of stuff. And even with the top tier pumps, even then you're limited to 12,000 units per second. I don't even know if it's capable of processing 12,000 units per second going directly from a source to a sink with a pump in the middle, and doesn't even feel like it can do that if you're just doing source to sink attached to each other, which theoretically that's the highest potential throughput, is if a source and a sink are directly attached to each other, input to output. But yeah, it's just awful all the way around, and it forces you to get more buildings in that way. So let's see here. This will definitely need to be a balanced output. And it will actually be producing 20 per second in total, if I can provide enough coal gas and drill heads for it. It uses a drill head per mining operation, which... that's a bit much. Usually drill heads are used as fuel, not so much as a required item. Guess I did need to move a thingy down here. Yeah, that with the absolute limits on the fluid mechanics, I've noticed they tend to top out around 1200 units, which is the output of a water pipe, regardless of distance. Theoretically, distance plays a role in the fluid mechanics. In the current state of the game, I haven't noticed anything in regards to distance impacting throughput, it seems like you're pretty much able to always get at least 1200 units per second, regardless of what the length is of your pipe network. But if you ever need any more than that, you run into massive headaches, and even doing barreling isn't properly going to get around all of that. So yeah, that's the state of fluid mechanics, and I do hope that as we continue to progress here in Pyanodons, that that won't be as big of a headache. I can guarantee it will still be a headache, but I just hope that it won't be as big of a headache. I'm going to plop down a little pathway here. There's my vehicle snapping. I like my 200% movement speed bonus from those tiles. Gives me a use for excess aluminium. But I do need lead for the solder, which is why we're working towards this Nexelit so that I can get Tholin plants at the moment. Now, why am I coming all the way down here again? I needed to go down. Why did I need to go down? It's already slipped my mind. I was going down in order to pull up my drill heads that I am producing. Drill heads that I am producing right here. I have 6 of these machines going, making 4 per second. I think it said it will consume 1.3 something, or no, 0.75 each machine, maybe? I don't know. I have completely forgotten already. So I need to pull these onto the bus, and the only effective way I can do that, I'm already going to need to open up another line there, is to pull these up on the bus and then jump them over. So I will do that right here. Pull this up out of the way of my chromium mining situation. Can I go over to the left from here? Will that get me... where I need to go? Because I want to go right in here. And that is good enough. And this will give me drill heads on my bus. I don't need this. I think that's the first line. Oh boy, I need more undergrounds. Do. Da. There we go. That, as they say, is that. And here comes the drill heads. Alright, get my car, and then I can run this belt all the way up. It's gonna be nice being able to come back into Pyanodons on a daily basis now. Don't have to switch modes every other day anymore. And it should mean that progress should happen a bit faster now. Theoretically, if Pyanodons even remotely follows progression compared to vanilla, this is the longest period of the game that requires a lot of steps to get to, and ideally everything else after this is a logical enough progression based off of stuff that we already have, rather than setting up things that are exclusively brand new and require from scratch chains. So instead of new things requiring stuff that needs new war types, although I think there are certain things that will be required, like the rare earth refining and such like that, and these regolites and kimberlite and all that other stuff. I think for the most part we should be based off of stuff that we already have, further processing of stuff that we already have. But I could always be wrong, and it could always just be a constant situation of adding more and more and more and more and more new things. Still haven't made a single plate yet, by the way, based off of my input of tailings. My practically non-existent input of tailings. My basically non-existent. Yeah, once you get to Circuit 2s, the game should open up dramatically. Just like when you get to Blue Science, which is essentially Circuit 2s here, once you get to Blue Science, the majority of the rest of the game opens to you, and you can start focusing on basically whatever you want. And I will absolutely paint the world with this, with these plates. The world shall be painted with plates that increase my movement speed by 200%. It's going to happen. That is not the spacing. Thank you. Come again. Is that the inside line? No, it is not. Sodium hydroxide is the third line there. Okay. Good to know. I will cut that off to make sure that we're not splitting up the input. Speaking of which, here they come. My glorious drill heads. They are being limited by what now? Chromium. They are being limited by my production of chromium. I can scale that up just fine. That's not the hard part. That is not the hard part. I can continue the inefficient process or transfer over to a slightly more efficient process, but the thing about the slightly more efficient process is it's still not as good as the molten process, which you cannot do until Blue Science anyway. However, I did make notes on that. The chromium is through chromite sand to plates, with limestone and sand castings and CO2. So there is a chain going into chromite sand that you can then process. That is a more efficient process than doing this hot air from ore. And I think there's some other potential hot air shenanigans that you can do with the other chromium stuff along the way. I should have automated or advanced foundries somewhere or other. I just don't feel like going to grab them right now. I'm just going to make another however many. Getting a little bit low on the iron there. Just a little bit low on the iron. Yeah, you aren't the only one, right? Who stops before getting to blue science, stops between green and blue. According to Pyanodon, the extreme vast majority of people never make it to Circuit 2s. I think Pyanodon said like 90% of people quit before Circuit 2s. Which is honestly a shame, because what's the point of putting in all that work if 90% of people don't end up experiencing the full thing? Oh look, there's more. Where do I place this? I can place this here. There they go. That's more chromium. 6 advanced foundries, uses 8 per second. I don't know exactly how much I'm actually making on the chromium ore. These don't need to exist anymore. That's only making 1.2 per second. How much do I actually need to feed these? 6. 3 per second. Okay, I may be forced to do the to do a better process here for my chromium production. Actually doesn't look like there's another hot air recipe on the chromium. Yeah, there's not. Oh well. Would have been nice to have to avoid going from ore to G1 to G3 to G4 to sand to plates in a casting unit, ultimately requiring automated screeners, jaw crushers, ball mills, impact crushers, hydrocyclones, solid separators, and a casting unit. So that's a big chain that I was planning on not doing right at the moment. Looks like I don't even have enough ore to even feed this anyway, so... And this is using syngas. What's the mining time here? 200%. So that's 60 per yellow belt. I have mining drills right here. We keep getting further and further away from the goals. For reference. Theoretically, I'm making Nexelit right now, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, aren't I actually making Nexelit right now? Apparently not. Right. The coal gas is non-existent. Because I haven't run that line down yet. Alright. Well, I'm going to... How many are here? That's a line of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ugh. Why'd I have to pick here to start? $13, huh? On each side? Well, that should be significantly more, and that gives me a better pull on my syngas, at least. Oh, and that's 9? Oh boy. I'm just thinking about how difficult it'll be to get even outputs. I apparently need more belt. So let's see if that'll be enough, or defeat those 6 at the very least. And I'll move on for now. Where is my nearest car? I will go to where I am automating my underground belts and splitters. All the way at the start of the bus. So the ultimate reason why I'm losing so much of the iron is that a lot of it is going into the steel right now, as well as into small parts. So a lot of that is getting siphoned off. And I have gaps in my ore mining at the moment. Maybe I should go take care of those gaps in the ore mining while I'm out this far. Would help if I can actually traverse through my SimCity. That wasn't needed. Not gonna bother replacing it. Oh, hello. I guess that was needed. Oops. Yeah, I guess that one was actually important. Okay. There you go. This is my phosphate mining, by the way. Also uses syngas. Alright, iron. Nothing I can really do about this spot. I can pick up the, duds, though. Then I can come down here and go to this spot and redo things. Because, yeah, this one is mostly mined out now. Oops, I have run out of space. Boop, boop. Alright, let's get this done here. How many is that? Exactly 15. Cool, that's a yellow belt. That is a yellow belt. Yeah, I guess I can do the one on the other side. Excuse me. There you go. That should guarantee me the full throughput iron line, or at least a full throughput yellow coming out. It then merges over here with these. I'm using an unlimited 4-4 to act as a 4-2. Such is the benefit of that 4-4 balancer, is it's actually capable of perfectly handling up to 4 in and up to 4 out. Doesn't necessarily have to be exactly 4 and 4 that you put in or take out. Oh, I think I have enough titanium. After making that change yesterday. Time to go through my SimCity. Right. I had issues with that coal. I had issues on... Uh-oh. Oh no! The game crashed. That straight up crashed. And now it's not going to... It's going to take its sweet time launching. Oh boy. Come on, Steam. Don't make me have to restart you. It's, most likely doing a cloud sync. Yeah, it's doing a cloud sync, and it's taking its sweet time doing that cloud sync too. 63%. It claims it's running at 1.8 megabytes per second, but I doubt that very much. There it goes. So here's the thing. I've set up the autosave to autosave every hour. And I don't know when the hour ticked over. I think this is the second time I've had the game crash on me like this ever. So this autosave is all the way back where exactly? It is pre-chromium expansion. Wonderful. I was working on this. Yeah. Well, I guess this time I get to properly connect it. So all of that chromium expansion and iron fixing, all of that is dead. Dead and gone. It didn't happen. I'm also not going to change my autosave settings off of 1 hour because of one crash like that. Just because the autosaving in this game, in the late game, if you've unlocked a lot of the map, revealed a lot of the map, can start taking quite some time. Excuse me, but you need to go right there. Have I run the... Alright, so I have not even run the drill heads up yet. I haven't even set... Yeah, I haven't made the line to run the drill heads, and I haven't run the... lubricant. So that was, for all intents and purposes, that was a total loss of nearly everything that we just did. Where is my batteries? Batteries, making lubricant. Right below them. They are right here. And as I had done before, lubricant on the bus. Goes right next to the sulfuric acid. Don't think I need to run it that far. Yep. Get the power lines in. Get the lubricant connected. There's lubricant, so as soon as I get those drill heads routed up, I will start consuming all of them to make these. What is the, I just want to check. It is 1.33 per second, so that's all I really need to target. Is 1.33 per second. Also, you get to happen differently this time. It's a sound effect that I can see getting very annoying very quickly, but I'll take the efficiency, thanks. Okay, I want to do this. Just sort of pre-set up the belt that's going to be run. Off we go! Going all the way down to my corner. Back up. Backing up! We've got yet more rocks to destroy. The bane of my existence. Really makes me want to get nanobots. Been trying to avoid relying on them for this playthrough, but may want to get them anyway at some point. Run this all the way down. Let's see, do. Wait, duh. That was there. Right, more undergrounds. This is wrong. As is this, but we'll deal with that later. It's a lot easier when all the belts have been run already. Yeah, the game is hitching a bit, and I'm pretty sure, as I had said last time, it has to do with the steam. The smoke from these machines being not very cooperative. Okay, go down and run this. I think it was on this line that I had run previously. Yeah, it's like every time the smoke gets cold or gets called, the UPS takes a hit. Alright, there's Drillhead. So the Nexelit is officially running, operating. Now let's do what needs to be done here. Grab some mining drills. Grab some iron plates and steel. Then it's that, you, and power on. Alright, I'm going to redo this a bit, maybe. I wish that message wouldn't spam. More undergrounds. It's always a problem with that method. Always needs more undergrounds. Give me more undergrounds, please. And right up here, I have a very big supply of those guys. So I have about as many undergrounds as I could ever desire, theoretically. As long as I handcraft them for now. So just as previously, I'm going to continue to scale this out. Yeah, 13. Ugh. Just, ugh. So what this allows me to do is it saves me the hassle of doing another fluid connection. Oh, that sucks. It's already a niobium pipe. That pole is going to take up an inventory space, unfortunately. There it goes. Now I am going to be a bit paranoid and keep saving. Nearest car is way out there. Alright. For the record, have I started making things yet? I have not, because it's not arrived yet. How How far away are you? Pretty far out still. Now I will head off into the land of iron to do that iron fix again, giving me more iron. More of the beautiful iron. The irony. Now, just don't crash the game, and we'll be good. I'm pretty sure the point that it crashed was one of those points where it was trying to load in smoke, so yeah, about that. See, that is not good. This is also not good. I'll live. I don't really actually need all that coal anymore from there. There is something I've been meaning to do though with coke, and I was actually just thinking about it when the game crashed, because I was probably going to do that as the very next thing after fixing the coal here, not the coal, the iron here, and that is that I have a spot where I can add some alternative coke input. Coke that's derived from my primary coke production and not from coke that's ultimately being produced from a renewable resource right now through the Factorio coal. Interesting how one lane has been completely mined out on both of these. That'll do it. Suppose I should still do that belt balance that I had done before. Why do you not get covered? Oh, this side is also not taken care of. There you go. Heal up. Save. In case you didn't know, this is the 26th stream of Pyanodons. We are 68 hours in. That being said, the Angels playthrough lasted under 100 hours, which it's the second time I've completed a space extension playthrough, but it's also technically the fastest I've completed the space extension playthrough, because the first time I think took over 150 hours or something like that, or over 200. So that was interesting. Let's see how long it takes to complete Pyanodons for the first / probably only time ever that I'll do this. Let's see, we've got 9 minutes remaining, and I am going way past where I had wanted. So there are a number of spots on this line that need coal in, not coal, but coke in that I will need to bring from above. In particular, this is very important. That... Oh, I am already bringing in a coke from up here for that one. Interesting, I'm bringing that out for all of those, and yet I'm not... Hey. It's probably a good idea if I were to do, that. You know, that's probably a much better idea than this. Because this is going to be very inefficient going forward. Alright, now what? Let's see. By now, the drill heads should have reached where they need to reach. I'm now limited officially by iron going into this. Oh joy, oh bliss. I likely am not making the full throughput of the ground borers worth of Nexelit, but I should be making some non-zero amounts of Nexelit from them right now. And that is all that really matters, because I just need to make a few Tholin plants out of it. So as we go up here... and go around. Really? How does that hit? We can see, hey, it's an Nexelit. Looks like I'm limited by the coal gas, unfortunately. But this will be a process with which to get more coal gas. Huzzah. So it's Nexelit. Huzzah, and all that good stuff. Let's make this a bit easier. And it's the first plates! We've got plates! We've got plates! Yay, we've got Nexelit plates. It's glorious and beautiful and awesome. Oh, that reminds me. This has been updated. The update today to, I think it's Pi coal. Yes, Pi coal processing has increased the speed of the cooling towers, so now it is exactly, or it's a lot better than what it was. It is a lot better than what it was, as in now you don't need to worry about having more than a one-to-one relationship between the cooling towers and the power buildings. So if I go down to where I'm expending my excess hydrogen into power, because this is where this will be more apparent. So each of these powerhouses produces 166 units of steam. So now, previously it was, I think, 150 units of steam that these could process per second. It was not 166 and 2/3 per second, which meant that if you had 3 powerhouses, it wasn't 3 cooling towers, it's 4 to properly process all of the steam that gets produced out of this. But now that they are actually more capable of handling the steam, now you only need 3 for 3. Now, at what point do you need less? So at 4... Yeah, so at 4 it's 4, but at 5... No, 5 is still 5. 6! At 6 to 5. So it's 6 to 5 is the new ratio of powerhouses to cooling towers. 6 to 5. As it stands, I no longer need this to exist. So, Tholin plants. Where are they? Right here. Huh. I have 80 things of Nexelit. Or, I need the atmospheric extractors and I need the plants. So, I need to grab some small parts and circuit boards. This is probably going to need a lot more than what I'm expecting. As per usual, I would think. Sorry, but I need to dump some crud. I'm gonna need those. Ugh. I'm gonna need a lot of things. For now, I'm gonna dump basically all of my excess buildings and such. Just don't let me forget that these are here. Right next to my carbon black. And of course, lots and lots of iron. Lots and lots of iron. Okay, atmospheric extractor and plant. What is the ratio between extractors and plants? That is my main... Oh, hello. That is a balloon. That is a thing. That's a thing. I can definitely say I've not seen that one before. And this will just straight up collect Tholins for you at 2.5 per second. Is that Morse code? It has it has sounds. It has sounds, and oh boy, this is spectacular. It is the same footprint. You there. So, we have lots of options for getting for using our Tholins. In particular, I was looking at acetylene. Acetylene and chlorine are actually among the best options. Maybe acetone as well, and maybe acid gas. Maybe even benzene, but I think right now, at this point in the game, I know for a fact that the acetylene is actually more valuable to do via Tholins than it is to do via processing the actual acetylene recipe. And I think similar with chlorine, the chlorine just needs so many electrolysis machines, and you produce so much excess sodium hydroxide that I am pretty sure that it is much better to do chlorine out of the Tholins. So, what is the ratio here? Not nice. So I'm looking at divisible by 5. Okay, so that is a 10 to 3. That is a 10 to 3 ratio. We're going to need a bit more Nexelit. So he says. We're gonna need a bit more Nexelit. Because 17.5 per second, that's... Yeah, that's not gonna cut it. Alright, so what sort of an output am I looking for? I am looking for an output something closer to that. So remember, 10 to 3, that's yeah, that's closer to what I want. Let's see, how much energy does this consume? 800 kilowatts. 700 kilowatts. That's 80 megawatts. I don't quite think I have the power for that. Such is the issue here. Well, as much as I would like all the balloons on the planet giving me Tholins to make the acetylene, it's like, sorry, but at the amount of acetylene that I want, that's simply too much power. So you either have to pay for it in power draw, or you have to pay for it in coke, pretty much. Because, so here's the thing. This setup produces 50 units per second of acetylene. 50. To do the same thing via Tholins-ish, is 30 extractors and 9 plants to get an equivalent amount. 30 extractors, that's 30 by 800 plus 9 by 700. That's 30.3 megawatts of power. 30.3 megawatts of power. I could technically compare how much coke gets consumed by all of this. Speaking of coke, that's what I wanted to do. That's the process. Car? Oh well. Cars, there's one here. Unfortunately, I have gone over time for today for my stream. So we, at this point of having gotten the first stuff for Tholins and realizing, oh gosh, that is a lot more inefficient than I was thinking. Even though it's technically, I still think it's technically better than this. We'll have to see, because that is a lot of power. That is just a lot of power. So right over here, I want to do this before we end off. So this line of coke needs a better input. How am I going to do this? Probably just replace it entirely. That, sure. replace it with a real coke line going in, so that I actually get my 50 units per second on the acetylene, because that's a problem with my production right now of lead. It's influencing my lead production dramatically. Dramatically reducing my lead production. So then 4 of these, 5 per second, 5 per second, yeah, so that's 50 per second. I would have to extend this a really long ways. Each of these machines, that's 3, 6, 9, 1.2 megawatts for 50 on those. These use 3.5 per second on coke. Coke is 5 megajoules. I don't know off the top of my head how many megajoules relates in terms of power output, but anyway, and this also consumes 3 per second on coke, so that's 6.5 per second on coke. Just to feed 50 per second on acetylene. I don't like it. I think ultimately, if you're doing your energy by crude oil through fuel, making fuel oil from crude oil to burn to make power, that might end up being better off in the end, and just eating the Tholin power requirements, but we shall see. Alright, so what happened today? Not too much. I expanded my production of Nexelit, which, regardless of how I really end up using it in the end, this was a required thing to do. I do need Nexelit plates for various other things besides the Tholin stuff anyway, so I'm glad that this has now gotten set up and we can now start moving on to other things. In particular, I think it's about time I transfer the coal gas production to heavy oil cracking, basically. That's what that is. It's steam plus heavy oil equals coal gas. This recipe. No, it's zinc chloride plus water plus heavy oil into coal gas and steam that you can convert back into the water with cooling towers. And it gives you a little bit of tar in FTS reactors. So this is what I want to do. It's convenient because that can be up here near where I have my zinc chloride being produced. Plenty of zinc chloride for the moment. And that can give me coal gas instead of this recipe, converting tar. And I can use my tar for other things. So, thank you all for watching, and I will be back with more Pyanodons tomorrow. I will see you all then.